Hello, world. Welcome back to Roll and Keep and the session finale. We'll call them session finales. You like that? You like that? And session premieres. Welcome to the session finale of Eidolon Alpha, powered by Cortex Prime. We're here on the Fandom Tabletop channel where we play all manner of Cortex games, including Tales of Xadia, our Dragon Prince TTRPG. A little bit of business to take care of before I hand this plane over to Mellie for her to land it in epic fashion. This is an ancient Greek RPG, so maybe not. I'm not handing you an airplane. I'm handing you I don't know, something that flew in ancient Greece.
A glider.
A glider, a bird. I only got so much creative juice in me today. We're super excited about this. Starting next week, we will be doing a Tales of Xadia crossover event with High Rollers. We're super stoked about this. Episode 1 will be taking place on the High Rollers Twitch. Episode 2 will be here. Episode 3 will be back at High Rollers. And episode 4, this whole little series will end right here over at Fandom Tabletop. Beyond excited about this. They're such just a phenomenal table and wonderful people, and this group is also a wonderful group of players, and as people go, they're fine. So I'm just absolutely just stoked about this. Mellie will be narrating and represent. It's like in the old pro wrestling days when a Survivor Series team would get together. Representing Roll and Keep, Vanessa and Aliza will be joining Mellie at the table with High Rollers. We're super stoked about this. So make sure you tune in. The first episode will be on Tuesday at noon Pacific time on the High Rollers channel, and then episode 2, you're getting 2 Tales of Xadia next week. 2 Thursday will be on our channel at 1 o'clock. We're going a little earlier to be mindful of our friends in the UK, which sadly means Cam will not be joining us because the sun will not be up, and we don't want to do that to him. It's not fair. It's not fair. So we're super stoked about that. Please tune in. Make sure you tune in for that. Mark your calendars, all that good stuff. Super excited. Thank you guys for being here and watching. If you're watching on Twitch right now with us, make sure you hit that follow. If you're watching in the future on YouTube, hit the like button for us. Leave a comment. Feed the algorithm for us. The more you do that, the more we can kind of keep this train moving. So we're super stoked. Again, welcome back to the setting finale of Eidolon Alpha. After Tales of Xadia, we will be cruising into an even newer setting that will clue you guys in on a little more next week, run by our own Vanessa Guerrero. So that is going to be super, super cool. If you follow her on Twitter, you know that she's a little unhinged and dark and weird. And and this game will be no different.
All of those things.
All of those things. For that game, we'll also be joined at the table by Amy Dallin, who you know from Geek and Sundry, and from being the positivity generator that runs all the kindness in the world. So we are super excited to have her joining us at the table here at Roll and Keep as well. I think that is it. Oh, sorry. I thought I was being told in chat that I was forgetting to plug something. It was just someone saying that they forgot to plug in their Ethernet. I was like, I need to plug your Ethernet.
Shout out to your Ethernet.
I was like, Aliza, are you in some kind of internet Spectrum Ponzi scheme? Like, what is happening? Anyway, okay. We're all good. Hit all the algorithm buttons for us. We appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to hand the wheel over to one of my favorite GMs I have ever encountered, Mellie.
All right. Well, we are within a vast and murky deep, constrained into a wide cylinder. There are hydrothermal vents that spot rocky walls, and as they gush with heat, we see jellyfish-like creatures lit with bioluminescence floating themselves into the chamber, and as they pass by us, we can see inside of them and hear inside of them, and we see all that has happened thus far. We see Zephyrinus of the Griffin, Lysandra of the Chimera, Ectonios of the Gorgon, and Delphine of the Minotaur meeting for the first time. Skotos, the evil void corrupting Zeph. Zeph carrying it with him to Ophelium, the wyvern city-state. And inside another jellyfish, we see the oracle of the wyvern, Zotikos, painting the walls of the cavern temple with his prophetic dreamings. Meeting our heroes, telling them that they're destined for greatness. We see Zephyrinus fight off the corruption, and the group sailing away together on a small boat. We see them arrive on a pirate's island where they overcome the power of the siren Eidolon and Endarch and gain a temporary ally with Captain Charon. We watch Delphine gather supplies with her uncle Boris and see her have to negotiate with Damaris, the Skotos and corrupted Endarch of the Chimera. And we see Damaris reveal her hostage, Zeph's brother. And in the moments that have just passed, we see Zephyrinus summon the strength of the griffin, only to falter in his courage at the prospect of his actions risking his brother's life. And we see a massive whirlpool that opens up between the ships, pathway to the fates. And we watch as the light from these jellyfish catches a figure casting this dark and looming shadow of sprawling tentacles that descends from above, and the light fades as these appendages curl like a net around these jellyfish and descend upon them, and then it's dark. Except for one light. Farther down, we follow the tentacled figure as it just drifts further and further down this cylinder. And this last jellyfish is larger, brighter than the others. And as we get closer, we hear this echoing voice, which says, "Even as the world dissolves to ashes, the willing vessel of the void shall live. In the afterbirth of its 10th deathless cycle, the emptiness shall become a silence that ends the echo forevermore. Only when the four unite above the whirling moon can the first seal on the willing heart be severed and its chambers opened to hear the echo once more. Therefore, Skotos will be made vulnerable." And the tentacled thing sort of laughs, its beak clicking, and it whispers, "Soon enough." And then we are stricken with the noise of a battle interrupted, cries and shouts of panic as ships are pulled into the mystical whirlpool that opened beneath the full moon's light. It seems to swirl both ways, clockwise and counterclockwise, but colliding with another ship on this course is not the only danger you can see. You can also see as ships are drawn down and down deeper into this whirlpool, one of them begins to rot and wear, and the men and women on board age rapidly, their hair turning white, their skin shriveling, and eventually their bodies just falling to bone and dust as their ship crumbles beneath them. Another is abandoned by the crew as they see this happening swiftly as they can, getting onto a stronger vessel. And you see as their ship turns itself into plank and then timber, the sails to raw linen to flax to seed before being sucked below. And in the chaos, you can see across the pool your foe, Damaris, her orange hair whipping in the wind, the darkness just sopping off of her in these rancid globs, smirking with this twisted pride as the shape of the griffin dissipates into nothingness in the air between your ships. This moment of distraction, though, is all that Zeph's brother needs. He slices an elbow back at her, she stumbles, and the black knife almost slips from her fingertips. She turns to catch it, and her crew is too busy keeping them out of this whirlpool to help her, as Zeph's brother climbs up onto the edge of the ship, looks across at the four of you, and then he dives off down into the whirlpool. And with not a single sound, he disappears into the center of it. Now, before we jump back into our action order where we left off last time, let's do a quick recap of where everybody is positionally. We got Lysandra. You are half dolphin, the top half of a dolphin, near kind of the enemy ships.
The top.
Antonios, you are kind of flying the length of your ship, putting out fires. Delphine, you are on deck with Zeph, and Zeph, would, before we go into action order, would anybody like to give this whirlpool a try?
Give the whirlpool a try, you said?
Yep, that's what I said.
Like a cool jacuzzi, or the nightmare you just described?
The nightmare I just described that your brother just jumped into.
Oh yeah.
Aging into death, or devolving back into your primal baby state. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
I'll go after him. I mean, I've got like half the power of a dolphin.
Yeah, and I'm KO'd, kind of, right? Am I down?
You're not. You're sapped of your courage, seeing like that she had your brother hostage. So you can't, take an action to roll anything right now. But you can still, talk and do general things.
Does Joe still have the asset I made for him last week? So much dull fun.
Yes. He ate so much dull fun. You do have that. You also have the knowledge of the secrets. D12 Zeph as well.
Oh yeah. I mean that I can't roll it, but I guess sort of combining these things, Zeph seeing this happen, but also the fact that he's just sapped of anything that makes him go.
How many popcorns do you have, Joe?
I have one.
Because the way this works is you can still roll your dice pool. You just normally can't keep any dice for your total, but you can spend plot points to keep at least one, right? So it's like we always do it. We keep two and we add them together and make a thing. When you're this state, you can roll the dice. You just can't keep any, so it's no point. But
so if you spend a plot point, you can keep something.
Right. I'm not going to. I think sort of in the state that he's in, he like sort of sees this happen and gives like this big pathetic like kind of just cry.
Our favorite sad boy. All right, Vanessa, did you want to go in the whirlpool?
I'm gonna go in the whirlpool.
Hell yeah. Okay, excellent. So you see the kind of dolphin top half, Lysandra bottom half kind of sweep across the whirlpool, and again, not swirling down, not taking the full path, going straight down to the middle of it, and Lysandra disappears. But into our action order, Damaris had just gone and messed up Zeph's whole business, and last up in the order was Delphine. So Aliza, what would you like to do as we now have, ships being pulled down into the whirlpool? You've got Lysandra and Zeph's brother have disappeared into it. Damaris is still covered in Skotos ichor on that other ship and is a danger. What would you like to do with your turn?
Is there anything I can do to help Zeph?
You could tell me what you'd like to do to help him recover. So it's his courage that is currently above D12. You could definitely try to help him recover that stress.
Mm-hmm. And then who else is left in this round after me?
You were the last one, so you get to pick who goes next, and that could also be you.
We talked about how you could go twice, because you could go at the end of the round and then choose yourself to go to the top of the round.
Yes. Yeah, we did talk about that last time, how you could summon the Minotaur and then start the next round and have a turn and have your Minotaur go at the top of the next round.
I'd like to use that same tactic of going twice, but instead, the first one I'd like to do a recovery roll to help Zeph, and then I'd like to turn into a Minotaur.
Sure. Yeah, so describe to me how you'd like to, how are you approaching this recovery with Zeph?
Okay, he's just kind of shaken to the core. Is that what it's just like? Scared?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna smack him around, I guess, and be like, "Wake up! This is not the
Always
time.
Works.
Come on."
Okay, let me just pull up recovering. Boop boop. It's gonna be difficulty.
Oh wait, I'm Southern. Wake up! This is not the time.
This is the last episode. Step up.
Yeah, you gotta get into it. Perfect. So yes, we got some recovery here. So I'm gonna be rolling. Cam, advise me because I'm failing at finding the rule.
What's the well? Take all the stress that he's got.
Yeah.
Add them to a difficulty pair of dice, which I think is 2d6 for the basic recovery.
Okay.
Or 2d8. Yeah. So then roll that. That's the difficulty that she has to beat.
Okay, 2d8s. Oy. Okay.
2d6,
So I'm just trying to remember. No, that's not correct. He had a d10. Okay, so so we've got a d12 courage stress, and it was a d10. I can't remember what the other one was that I applied. I think it was. I should have written. I think I wrote it down.
Was it guile?
Reason.
Reason. That's right.
12 courage, 10 reason, and then the 2d8s as the base. So this is it's totally and it's fine. I'm gonna roll these dice for you, Aliza.
Okay.
I'm back. Apparently,
Hey.
my magical powers are rolling insanely well. Here's a 19, just casually starting off the game.
Yeah.
That's like the highest I think anyone has ever rolled on just
I
2
think,
die
yeah.
in this game.
On 2 dice,
That's-
probably, yeah.
That's
So,
Okay.
pretty
yeah.
sure.
Okay.
So anybody who has an asset right now, like you can spend a plot point to give that to Aliza. And Aliza, obviously, you have, I think, still 2 plot points from last time.
I
So
do.
you at least have stuff to spend, but go ahead and tell us how you're building out your dice pool.
Do I also have that D8 seed of truth from early on?
No, that was a temporary.
Oh, okay.
Use that against Damaris.
Okay.
Yep.
Then, well, let me build and then see what I want to spend, if anything. I mean, I'm using violence, so I'm gonna say warrior.
Yeah.
And, vigor. I'm literally just trying to smack him back into reality.
Really getting into it. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Strong armed hammerer. And strength. I'm sorry, you're gonna be a little beat up, but you're gonna be able
Amazing.
to
Just
maybe join us in the
piling those
fight.
in.
Tough love.
And yeah.
I think the broken jaw wakes every person up, right? That's-
I mean, I'm not gonna use my full strength. I am gonna, I'm putting some arm into it, a little bit.
Yeah, you're really concentrating on hitting him in the soul.
Yes. Deciding if I want to if I do want to spend a plot point on, what could I spend a plot point on at this point, though?
Well, at this point, so you could add a second trait from a set that you've already used. So, like, you could add another role in addition to your warrior role, or you can save your plot points because you might want to add dice to your total
Yeah,
in the
keep
next
more.
phase.
Yes. Okay, I'll do that. I'll save them. Okay, I'm gonna roll.
You have 2 plot
no.
points.
You can spend both and you'll get
I'm gonna do
22.
it. I'm gonna do it. So, there and there. Done.
Yes. Sweet. So, and then on recovery, Cam, it usually would apply the effect die, which here would be a default D4.
Yep.
So that'll step down the stress once, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And does
if-
that step down
if-
both stresses or just one of them?
If she had rolled a bigger effect die, you could eliminate one of the stresses. But let's just for convenience sake, step them both down by 1. If that makes
works for me.
Zeph wake up in any sense, then that would be great. But
Yeah, so that'll put Zeph to a D10 courage stress and a D8 reason stress. And Zeph, what is your courage and reason?
It is 8 and 6 respectively.
Okay,
Sorry.
so that puts your not quite. You are still
you still
never
out.
mind.
We can
Still
keep
out,
trying.
but closer. Yeah, where you're closer. So you just get smacked. Describe this actually. So she's smacking you around. How does Zeph react?
I think he's just kind of, I don't know. He's just like not, this is a weird thing to try to play. He's just like not, this is all just like really like rocked him. So I think he's just like getting hit and he's like, it's almost like you can kind of see it like a car that's not quite turning over. Like there's just, it's just not quite there. Like his eyes are like reacting and just something's not quite clicking. He's just sort of like this weird, not quite there catatonic.
Mm.
Yeah. I've got an option to do recovery next if you want to move me in after you do your minotaur summoning there, Aliza.
Is this going to be like an airplane where they all just like line up to be like, get a hold of yourself? And then the next person...
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that was the end of that round. So Aliza, are you picking yourself next or somebody else?
Yeah, I'm gonna go next, and I'm just
Do it.
so I see that Zeph is not entirely shaken out of it, and I'm like, oh well, I guess. All right, let's just start this fight without him. And I stand up and I start to summon my Eidolon.
Excellent. Could you describe how this minotaur is pulling itself out of the nature around you?
Well, I've never thought about this.
Yeah.
you
Well, I mean,
see
as the one... Oh, go ahead.
I did neither for
No.
the griffin, and then all of a sudden it was there. You're going to kill this. I'm so excited.
I'm gonna. Well, also like, the Minotaur is from an island, but is like on the ocean right now, and Minotaurs aren't like sea creatures. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I would give one suggestion is that these ships that have been kind of falling apart and turning back to wood and plants and stuff that's just floating in the water now. You can totally use that stuff.
And
Yeah,
it can
let's
be
say-
any elemental fragment of the surrounding. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
match necessarily with it. You can make a gigantic minotaur out of ocean water if you really felt like it.
There's a
The
moon.
Eidolon just it finds matter to make itself manifest, and then it moves it.
Yeah.
I think it is gonna take any like plant and dirt material from the water and from those ships that are disintegrating, and even from the ocean floor, anything that's kind of loose or unconnected to something sturdy, it draws up and kind of that. Does the Eidolon?
Excellent.
Sorry, does the Eidolon come from me? Like I turn into it, or it's separate from me?
You summon it. All of your endarch power is then like taken out of you as you're like summoning it. You're giving it this power back, basically, and giving it a form in
So
this
it's gonna
plane
take
of
form
existence.
outside of me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you don't have your powers anymore. Like you cannot use your senses or your minotaur strength powers, but this minotaur exists, and you can kind of control it and ask it to do things for you.
Cool.
So yeah, this is beginning to take form, which is awesome. So Delphine, who would you like to have go next?
I would like Tony.
All right.
Hey, Tony, go next.
I'm looking up and seeing this big, what was it, like Kong with a bull face sort of
Yeah.
thing.
and with a gold necklace and bangles. It looks like.
Yes.
Lovely. That's so pretty. What a cool
So
thing.
pretty, right?
Yeah.
I just noticed that you've still got Zeph there, kind of like staggering around, looking out of sorts. So since I've been flying back and forth, picking up buckets of water to put out fires, I'm gonna get the current bucket, just fly over to where Zeph is. I think I'm on the same ship. Just dump the whole contents of this water onto him.
I love it.
Okay.
Also,
Come on,
I
wake
forgot
up.
something.
Hmm.
Aliza, take one plot point back. Because in the intro, I read out a prophecy. And this is a mechanic that Cam has given me permission to just play test with you all that I just made up, which is going to be a prophecy die. And these actions of trying to help Zeph kind of get back to his senses and, unite, it's going to help fulfill the prophecy. So it's an extra asset if you would like to use it, and it's a scale die, so you get to keep an extra die in your pool.
Nice.
So Cam, if you'd like to use that, if you'd like to try to contribute to the prophecy, you can add a d6 to your dice pool, and it is a scale die.
And we talked about this being, if we work against it, it moves it down. But if we want it moves it up. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and if you want to defy it, you have to spend a plot point, but then you can turn a prophecy around.
Yeah. No, I
Or
definitely
rewrite
want
it
to-
even.
I don't really realize this is actually how the prophecy is going, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm going to use warrior too. This is like the whole, very much the soldier's way of getting people to wake up and snap out of it. And I guess I'm not being very subtle about this, so it's not guile, grace, or anything else. I'm going to use vigor as well. So why don't we just follow up with what the precedent that Delphine set for us?
Yeah, and also let me roll for you what your difficulty is going to be, just in case.
Oh yeah, good.
Anything weird happens.
Oh.
Whoa!
Oh, wow.
Well, that's nice for you guys.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, because somebody could spend a plot point, and buy 2 hitches for 1 plot point and step down a stress twice or a complication twice or step up an asset twice.
I don't have anything that would fit those. I don't have an asset currently.
Well, I can offer to throw it to Zeph if Joe wants to tell us how he takes advantage of this opportunity of this role. You're muted.
Sorry.
Hey. He was really like go in character.
Yeah.
There's no sound from me. Let's see. Is it something I need to wait my turn for, or?
No, this is happening in this role right this moment.
Okay. Shoot. Okay. I mean, then I guess I would use sort of the bonus roll that whatever combination of punching and liquid has happened.
Because I haven't finished my action yet. So Mellie's set up the difficulty, and in the course of doing
this is within you. Almost like this is your stress kind of working at you, but there's something clearly that is giving you an opportunity to maybe think yourself out of or feel yourself out of this stress.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so so the thing that's happening for Zeph is the piece of his brother's the talisman is maybe it's in his head, maybe it's real. I don't know. It's up to you, Mellie. But it starts getting really warm. I'm just trying to be as edgelord as possible.
Yeah.
Because that's it starts to like get warm, and it to the point where like it leaves like the fabric like leaves its pattern like just like marked into his chest, and like his and he like snaps to. Would be how he would take advantage of it.
Yeah. So you can step down either your courage or your reason stress twice. Which would you prefer?
Courage, because who needs reason?
Excellent. So you had a D6 courage, D8 reason. Cam, now you only have to beat a 12. It's much easier than a 19.
Yeah,
and you
that's
have a
much
scale
easier.
die of a D6.
All right, let's just see. And I don't think flying overhead is really, the power use isn't really going to apply here, even though it sounds like a good way of doing it, but no. So just got this 3 dice: warrior, vigor, and big-hearted captain. Let's see how it works. That's not what I want, and that's not any good at all. That is.
You didn't. Oh no, you didn't add the.
Oh,
you didn't add the D6 prophecy.
Let's
So re-roll that.
Let's go back in time.
Yeah.
We're time
Gotta
before
rewind
time.
that. Gotta get that prophecy in there.
Time
The
before-
bad guys can use this prophecy as well if they're doing something that contributes to it. I'm just saying. But
All right, well,
it is a global
Better.
asset.
that's better.
There you
Now, do I
go.
keep 3 because it's
Ooh.
a scale die or not?
You get 3 dice, yeah, because it's a skill die.
But
Because the fates are very powerful, and that is a heroic success.
and it's a D12 effect because as the heroic
D12
success
effect, so you can just like knock out. I've got a D6 courage, a D8 reason.
Let's get that D8 reason out of the way.
All right, so describe this interaction, Cam and Joe.
Well, I'm flying overhead, and I just shout, "Come on, step out of it! Think about it. Think!" And just start to splash the water down on his head as the entire contents of salt water, by the way, not fresh water. And I'm kind of make him sort of see reason, right? It's not about suck it up and feel better. It's just like you got to see what's going on.
Nice.
So all of those things are sort of happening in conjunction, and that's what sparks that feeling of like warmth in the token is Tony being like, you need to like look around you and see what's happening, and I think Zeph's able to, and stands up, and regardless of the wind situation in the whirlpool, his big old cloak just like goes and just like unfurls and looks very cool.
Heck yeah. Awesome. Yes, getting on your feet. Tony, you can pick who goes next. We've got Damaris and Zeph currently in this scene.
Because we don't have
Vanessa's in
Lysandra's
whirlpool.
gone.
Maybe she's alive, maybe she's not. I don't know. We're gonna find out.
Yeah. I'm gonna have Damaris go next.
All right. So Damaris, and now her hostage gone. Zeph kind of brought back to his senses, and now like she's got boats that are just like whole boats worth of her crew are being lost to these waves. She's not happy, and the thing inside of her, this Skotos being, is not happy either, and it does not like this minotaur. Just got rid of the griffin and now has to deal with the minotaur. And she just sort of raises a hand, and as she does, you can see this darkness just kind of seeping out of the pores on her arm, like just these like thick black, almost like worm-like protrusions just coming out, going up her arm and then up the knife that she's holding, and then it just like blasts forward up to the minotaur, growing into this gargantuan size, like a spear big enough to strike an eidolon, and it is going to attack the minotaur.
Oh no.
So I'm gonna roll some dice, and then Aliza, you're gonna get to roll a lot of dice for your minotaur. So
Okay.
first off, let me find Damaris on my list here to get the right dice going.
It's okay, folks. I have bronze skin.
Oh good. For a second
Yes.
I was worried, Aliza. Now I remembered you got the bronze skin.
Yeah.
All right, she's got
I hope it's enough.
8. She's got this would be a warrior die for her, so that's an 8. And this is gonna be this is vigor, so that's only a 6. She has that Skotos, so that is her scale die there. And that is her dice pool. Boop. Ooh. Okay, well, she has scale, so I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna swap those. So she has scale. Oh, wait, you're also gonna have scale, but we can just have high numbers because it's fun.
And wait,
Yeah.
don't I get 2 scale die? Because I naturally have an 8 scale die as the Eidolon and the prophecy.
There's only one advantage of scale. If you, Delphine, were gonna roll, you would get the prophecy.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
yes, this is gonna be
That's fine.
18 with a D8 effect die. There's also a hitch here. Did you have any stress or complications or assets going on right now?
I did have a stress of courage last time that got stepped down a couple times. I think it's at a D8 now.
Yes. So yeah, if you want to spend a plot point, you could step that down, or you can just
Yeah, I
leave it.
do. No, yeah, I want to step that down. So now it's a D6.
Is that less than your
D6.
courage or equal to less than your courage?
What's that?
What's
Oh.
your courage normally?
My courage is an 8.
Yeah, that's good. So it's less than
Yeah.
Less than my courage.
Awesome.
You don't want it to
So
get
you
bigger
buy
than
that. That's very good. And now you're going to get to build a dice pool for your Minotaur.
This is exciting.
So your Eidolon gets like base dice of 2d10s just automatically, which is your first thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, did the Minotaur
Uh,
trigger a giveaway?
Yes, they did do a giveaway in chat for the Eidolon being summoned. They've also done one for a heroic success. So, and we want to get another heroic success here because 3 dice, 18's not the best.
Yeah,
So yeah, 2d10s. You get your d8 scale die.
All right.
And you get your choice of courage, grace, guile, reason, vigor, whichever you think is most applicable to resisting this Skotos spear.
I'm probably going to say vigor.
Yeah, so that's a d12 for the Minotaur. And then if you're using bronze skin, senses, or strength,
Bronze skin.
Yeah.
so that's another d12.
Potent.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's a monster dice pool.
And you don't get advantage of scale, but you could still use the prophecy if you'd like to. It was stepped up because Cam succeeded in his role, so it's a d8 prophecy right now.
Oh, I can still throw that in here?
Yeah, you just don't you don't keep 4 dice.
I don't
but
keep
you
4
can,
dice. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fingers crossed, no hitches.
Look at this big pile of dice.
Mhm.
Oh! Oh.
Oh.
What?
Oh, but does she have scale because of the size? Yeah, right. So
Oh, I do.
throw the 7 in there.
Can I bring the 7? Okay.
Yep, you can.
All right.
That's for free.
Woo! And no hedges and all those dice. You had so many
Nice.
dice. Amazing. So heroic success. So that's amazing. Oh my gosh, that's really amazing. Because that's the D12 plus a D6 of stress that you're going to be able to give to her. So you get to pick one of her attributes to put the D12 on, and then one to put a D6 on. She's shaken, which is pretty incredible. So which attribute would you like to target of hers with?
All right. So
Without knowing what the score is, yeah, it's interesting.
exactly. And I technically don't even know what the prophecy says, but Aliza knows the prophecy says she's a willing vessel. So I want to go after something that reduces her willingness, which I guess could be anything like courage or vigor or even reason. I'm going to go for her vigor.
Okay, so the vigor is D12 stress, and the D6, where would you like to put that?
Let's put the D6 on courage.
All right.
Jeez. I should have put it on guile. Should I put it on guile? Yeah.
You want?
I'll put it
Done.
on guile.
All right. Oh boy. Well, that was not great for me. Was very good for you. It was also good for chat. That worked out well for everybody except for me. Amazing.
Oh.
So describe this as this spear of this like wormy black darkness comes towards the minotaur. Describe what happens from there.
So as it gets near me, I just reach up, or the eidolon, as it gets near the eidolon, the eidolon just reaches up and grabs it, like, just by the end. So the end is like wiggling and squirming like a caught snake.
Yeah.
And if I can, just kind of like yank it so it just breaks apart or dispels or something.
Heck yeah. Yeah, it pulls it, and it just, from like where this has been like coming out of her arm, it yanks from there and just like yanks out of like her arm, like you're pulling hair out of her arm almost, but thick black wormy hair. And it just tumbles into like the whirlpool and gets kind of swept up in that as well. Very amazing. Well, that was her turn, so it was a great turn for her. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it to Zeph for the last turn of this action order round.
Jumping into the whirlpool.
All right. Swan diving into the whirlpool.
Fine.
And as you're kind of soaring through the air, and as like Damaris now has like just this, like her arm isn't severed, but she's holding it almost like it is, like pulling this darkness out of her, weakened her so much, and she's kind of off balance, kind of barely clutching this knife in her hand. And as Zeph, you dive, all of you hear this horn being blown, this horn that sounds almost like a bull's cry. And then we cut to that half dolphin, half Lysandra breaking through the bottom of this whirlpool.
Best mermaid ever.
Amazing mermaid.
It's the best part of the dolphin.
So, you kind of arrive and you notice that you're still swimming, but you can tell that you're not really in water. You're sort of just in some weird equivalent that you don't quite understand. And you're inside of this cavernous, ruined temple with these doors large enough that even your eidolon could pass through it with ease, the ceiling looming high above you. It's dark, but when you make sound as you're kind of moving through this not water, the sound itself kind of reverberates and creates light, almost like, you know, an echolocation that you can see. So when it hits something, you see these outlines kind of being made of the stone, doorways, bones that are littering the floor. You manage to kind of swim yourself forward, and you come to this wall that is textured with feathers. and that also seems to be breathing.
Oh.
What do you do?
I kind of want to like just push on the wall with my flippers. I kind of want to palpitate to see. I just remember that I have flippers and not hands because it's the bottom. That's human. Why haven't I changed back? Yeah, so I kind of want to like palpitate a little bit to see if it like responds to me.
Yeah, so you push on it a little bit, and as you get closer, and as you kind of make sounds as you're moving, it just crosses over these feathers. You notice they have got like these eyes on them, very clearly like peacock feathers. And as you kind of push down, you can feel this scaly skin underneath, and you hear this groaning breath, this and the body begins to sort of just undulate and move, like it's stretching itself. And then you hear kind of these nattering voices coming and reverberating around you through the different doorways, arguing about who should move which way. And as you, do you want to move at all, or are you good where you are?
I want to move around to see if I can find Zeph's little brother.
Yeah.
Because this wall is definitely not what I'm intending to find, and I'd like to find him and get out if I can.
All right. So you just immediately you're looking for some sort of clue as this wall of feathers begins to move in one direction, and you start to hear through one of the doorways as another sound starts to emerge, like something's moving out of the doorway, coming towards to you from that doorway. Let's go ahead and as you're looking for clues, let's go ahead and build a dice pool of trying to locate those. So I'm going to go ahead. This is a very weird place. It's hard to see, so this is going to be pretty challenging. I'm going to do 2 d10s in this pool. I'm rolling them. 12 is what you got to beat.
Okay.
2 6s. How would you like to approach this?
Okay, so I'm definitely looking for Zeph's little brother, so scout. And this takes a lot of courage. I'm still rocking the half dolphin, so that's Chimera's Mutark. And shape-shifting, because I need all the help I can get.
You need that as like a distinction name there, I think. Yes, it's like rocking the half dolphin. That sounds...
Rocking the half dolphin. All right. Let's see what this lets happen. If I can just.
Ooh. Very good. I'll buy the hitch from you, which is gonna be. What did you use? Scout, courage, community charge, shape shifting. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and use your. Courage, or your scout here. I'm going to use your scout. I'll hitch on your scout.
Okay.
So this is going to be a complication titled Forest for the Trees.
Yeah.
So you kind of miss some obvious clues of what might be coming towards you as you're just focusing on kind of tiny details. And you kind of catch, you can see as you get closer kind of to the ground, you see, these small places where a running form has made breaks in the silt and the bones that litter the floor. And you're kind of following it as best you can. And then you turn, and behind you is the massive face of a just eidolon-sized eel with this mouthful of spiked teeth and this just curled grin, and its scales, you can see, are actually feathers. The scales kind of coming off of it are peacock feathers, and it just kind of smiles at you as it approaches, and then you turn again and you see where you thought that wall was, as another face, looking almost exactly the same, another heavy eel face curls out, kind of coming backwards, like trying to undulate itself backwards, and it comes up behind you. You can tell with your, abilities to understand things, your kind of scholarly understanding, that these things are two-headed. They're connected at the center, so somewhere through these doorways is the rest of their body, but now their heads are kind of both converging upon you. Oh, a second human. What are you doing here, human? What are you seeking?
I'm seeking atonement. I have no qualms with you. I'm just trying to find a young boy who I failed.
Oh, is that so? And you can see as the feathers, like as they kind of think, all of the eyes on the feathers like blink as well. And they just kind of, they move a little bit closer. Now they're kind of like circling around you, just kind of stretching as much as possible. So as the one right in front of you moves, the one behind you can move a little bit more as kind of their bodies get a little bit more into the room. And what would you do to find this boy?
At this point, anything. I failed myself and him once already, and I'm not leaving until I get him.
You are of the Chimera, are you not? Are you not?
I am.
You give fear to others very easily. Fear you give. Can you face it yourself? Can you?
I will. I'm going to.
And both of their mouths open wide, and this is like a massive cavern basically in front of you, except for the fact that it is full of jagged, long teeth that are almost as, actually probably just as tall as you are. And they speak again. You can tell that they don't really need their mouths to speak, and the sound just reverberates from the depths of their body. Then prove that you are afraid of nothing, and we shall show you what you seek.
In that case, I want to prove that I'm afraid of nothing by embodying fear itself and unleashing the Chimera.
Okay. Okay.
Playing with some eels.
So good giveaway in the chat for summoning an Eidolon. And this Chimera begins to form. How would you like to describe this forming in this strange place?
Okay. Well, the undersea bed begins to rumble. And similar to the way we saw the heads arise, we see the head of a tail come up, and then haunches and shoulders, as in all of the muck and the sand and all of those bits from the ocean floor forms up and rises this Chimera. Because I'm not afraid and I am not leaving without that kid.
Okay, yeah, this forms and both heads recoil back and kind of like hiss a bit. Clearly not really pleased with this outcome. And they just kind of, they're reeling back. What would you like to do with your Chimera here?
With the Chimera?
Yeah.
So far we've established that these eels are foes. And I just want to get them out of my way so I can do right by Zeph. So I would like to boil the water around us with my fire breathing.
Wow, okay. So go ahead and put together a dice pool to yeah, this is gonna be it's gonna be a contest actually between your Chimera and this is Castaphone and Polemus. And they want to stop you from being able to harness this ability in your Chimera, in their realm here. They want to get control of the situation and stop you. And you want to boil them. It's great.
It's eel soup tonight, folks. So, this is definitely a warrior role, despite warrior being my...
Oh, and I'm sorry, I don't know if we pointed it out, but when you were searching for clues, you did find, you succeeded, and so you got a D8 asset relating to, like, finding Zeph's brother that you can name as you choose.
Nemo?
What was that?
Nemo.
I was gonna say Nemo, but no, that'll probably be too on the nose.
Rules, daddy has daddy jokes.
I'm gonna call the asset forgive me, because I've still felt real bad that I looked out for myself that night and not a stranger that is now connected to a friend. And then courage, because I'm standing up to eels. Chimera's Mutark, and fire breath, baby. Alright, so that's what I get out of this. Okay.
Oh, were you using your chimera to attack?
Yes.
Or yourself? Okay, so let's actually revisit this really quick. You get chimera dice.
Oh,
You get way better dice. So courage. So that'll still be a D8. Your courage will still be a D8.
Okay.
You get a D12 for your fire breath.
Okay. D12 for fire
You
breath.
get 2 D10s
2d10
and a D8,
and a d8.
and then you get to keep 3 dice.
Of the 12, the 2 10s, and the 8? Or of
And you should
my
have 2 8s. So you'll have another 8. So you'll have 12, 10, 10, 8, 8.
12, 10, 10, 8, 8.
Yeah, and you'll get to keep 3 dice for your total once you roll them.
Okay.
This is how you get big numbers.
Got
Delicious
it.
big numbers.
In that case, I'm going to go 12, 8, 8 for my dice pool and then save the 2 10s.
So you don't have to save them. They're just they're the base trait of the Eidolon. So that's like their
That
basic
just lives
stuff.
there.
Yeah, so this is your Eidolon acting,
Okay.
not even you. Like you've
Got it,
told
got
your
it.
Eidolon, like, hey, boil this giant eel peacock,
Mm-hmm.
as you do, as everybody.
Yeah,
is
as everybody
wanting to
does. With their big monster friend. So,
do it.
12, 8, 8, 10. And then... Yeah, so that's my
Roll.
pool. Let's roll. Let's
Roll 'em in there.
roll and see what happens.
Get 3 for your total.
Oh my goodness.
So you get to pull that 6 down as well.
Okay.
So you've got a 21.
Which in most card games would do well.
I mean, it's a contest too. So like once it rolls, even if it beats it, you'll have another chance. But I will go ahead. I'm going to buy that to just make that complication into a D8, that forest for the trees.
Okay.
You get a top point.
You get a plot point for me buying that. So,
Okay.
and then I'm going to go ahead and build a dice pool for Castophany and Polemus, which is 2 D10s as well. And an 8 scale die, because these things are also pretty big deal. It's gonna use its power paralysis of choice, and it's gonna use its reason. And so as you're kind of getting it's building up this fiery power. These things they're recoiled back, but now they're just trying to kind of put their influence into you. So there's almost this like hypnotic wave of these feathers where it's trying to get you to just like stop being able to like think straight enough to finish what you're doing. I'm gonna roll these dice. I get to keep an extra one there. That is gonna do it. 23 is gonna beat a 21 by 2. So your choice now is to give in and get a plot point and kind of define in your terms how you've lost, or you can keep going and try to get higher than 23.
I keep going.
Go for it.
course.
So
Okay, that base pool was a 12, a 10, and 2 8s.
so your base is 2 D10s and a D8. That's kind of your basis.
Okay.
And then it depends on which attribute you want to use and if you want to use any powers. The powers are all D12. the attributes are either going to be 8 or 12, depending on which you use.
Okay, so I can do an attribute and I can do a power. So I think, do I want to keep with the fire? Do I want to work? You know what? I'm going to do fear for my power this time.
Okay, so that's a d12. And then which attribute do you think this is?
I'm thinking. I think I'm going to go with courage for this one.
Okay, so that's a d8. And then you keep 3 of the dice for your total.
Okay. All right, here we go. Come on.
Ooh, yes. 25.
Oh, are you going to spend a plot point and keep 4 dice?
I'm going to spend a plot point.
Whoo, all right, 28.
I want big numbers today.
Nice.
Big numbers.
Awesome.
That's
Okay.
technically possible, Mellie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's possible, but actually, so I'm going to let this happen. So first of all, it's going to be heroic success because a 28 is 5 higher than 23, so we're doing so many giveaways today in the chat.
Yeah.
And so it's giving in, though. So when it gives in, it's going to define this failure in its own terms. So you are able to kind of get this fire started and then this fear going. And this thing realizes that with this, with the power of your Eidolon coming to life, that it's not able to get through to you the way it could get through to normal mortals and just kind of cause them this analysis paralysis of the present. And so it instead changes tactics, and as it just like it burns, these feathers are kind of just falling off of it, and it's screeching out in pain. And then it just kind of hisses again. It says, "Foolish mortal, all you must do to get to the boy is face the fear within us. We will bring you where you need." And again, they're kind of twitching as they see all this fear. So like there's a bunch of the eyes closed on the body of the feathers, and they're burning. So they're just twitching, but they are opening the mouth again. And this time one of them lolls out the tongue to cover the teeth at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they want me to go in. It's like a big squishy red carpet.
And as you look at this option, you hear kind of just landing very gently, and this just kind of the scarf. You kind of, from the sound that these things are making, again lights up this echolocation. You see the form of Zeph kind of appearing at one end of this corridor.
Good timing.
Very good timing. And back up above.
Well, I
Air
don't know what
battle
I was
here.
expecting.
As you just see Lysandra just like looking at this tongue of this weird two-headed eel thing.
Hello there.
Yeah. So Zeph, you are actually really quick. You were the last one to go in the previous round. Out of Delphine, Tony, and Damaris, who do you want to have go first in the round up top?
If Delphine goes, it means more Minotaur things happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Delphine, my vote is Delphine.
All right, so Delphine, you get your turn first, and
It's
then
not
the
just
Minotaur
'cause of the
gets a turn. So you get to
Minotaur.
do 2 things.
I love you too, but also the
Sure,
Minotaur's
sure.
a bonus.
Yeah, there's an endarch turn, and then there's an eidolon turn right after each other. So
Yeah. So you get to take your turn first, Delphine's turn, and then Minotaur. So what do you want to do,
Okay.
Delphine?
What does homegirl look like? Damaris. You said
Yeah,
she's
she
holding her
doesn't look
arm.
Great. Yeah, she's holding her arm as if she's lost it, but it's still there. Just this like darkness is no longer kind of covering it. She's moved the knife over to her other hand, and it's just kind of like starting to encase her other arm. And her eyes have like gone really sunken and black, and she's just kind of like screaming out at you now, but in a language that none of you understand.
Mm-hmm. How far away is she from us?
She's across the world, so she's very far away. Very far.
I have a wacky idea, but I think I'm too far to actually do it.
Well, maybe. What is your idea?
I want to take my hammer and try to throw it at her and disarm her.
You can certainly try.
Knock that knife out of her hand. But it's really far.
Hey, y'all are ancient
mean,
heroes.
Yeah, and
This
also
is
if I
some
use
hero shit. Like,
Yeah, even if I use, just as Delphine, use her strength, that might help. Like, throw it real hard so it goes far.
yes, you can't use your endarch powers. So you can't use
Right,
your
right.
your strength power. But I mean, you are still very strong.
Oh, I can't
so
use
you can
my
definitely
strength
give it a go.
power. Okay.
That's in
You're
the
right, you said, got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yep.
Well,
Hey, you can give it a try. You are still very strong.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I guess I'll try it.
Do it. Why not? Go for broke. Do the
Okay.
big
Do the
thing.
thing.
All right. So Delphine is going to use definitely warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think vigor. Strong-armed hammerer. First time using the hammer, I think. And then I can't use my powers. And I don't have any PPs. And is there a prophecy die I can use?
Let's see. What is our prophecy at right now? So it's at a D10 right now. So that means that it is all the pieces are moving into place and are enacting the terms of the prophecy. So if you think this action is going to get this prophecy really close to being fulfilled, and you can sell that to me, you can use that D10.
I think the more we disarm her, the more less willing she would be to still cape for this Skotos.
Sure. So yes, you can add that D10, and that gives you skill, which is good because she will also have a skill die.
Okay.
Oh, and also, you can add her stress as well. Which
Which
she
was D12
is.
and D6.
It's her. Yeah, this would be. So you get to add one of them.
Okay.
This would be her vigor. So it's the
Okay.
D12 because you're just trying to knock something out of her hand here.
Glad I put it there then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was clever.
Combining all these dice, you're gonna have some pretty good stuff.
Gonna be a beatdown.
And you get to keep one extra die in your total.
Can I take the 6?
Yeah, absolutely. And then move a 3 down in another spot. 19.
Okay.
It's pretty
All
good.
right.
It's pretty good.
Okay, we'll
So
see.
she gets these 3 8s, and then she gets her. This is her warrior again, just trying to defend her own gosh darn self. And then I said this was her digger. It's not a great dice pool for her, but hey, let's see what happens. Oof.
Oh.
Well,
Wait, I can't see.
not a
it. What
heroic
does it
success
say?
because I get the 3. I got
Oh.
a couple of 1s. I got 2 hitches, so I can't use them for anything. And then I did not. I rolled a 17 with my 3 dice. So first off, you still have D6 of stress. Do you have any? You don't have any plot points. Never mind. Ignore
don't.
me. Ta-ba-da. But you did succeed in knocking this knife out of her hand. So this hammer is going to hit. Do you want to describe this to us?
It's I think everyone would be surprised to see this actually work and happen because it's completely unlikely.
Yeah.
But yeah, Delphine just takes out with her strong arms. She just takes out her quite heavy hammer and just chucks it across the ocean to another ship, and it manages to hit a small target of someone's hand and knocks the black blade out of that hand.
Excellent. And
They both fall onto the deck.
like an Olympian
Yeah.
shot putter, just
Yeah, let's
knocks
say that
her
I do
arm.
that. I like whirl around a few times and then
Yeah. This is Eidolon Alpha, not Eidolon
Heck
Beta.
yeah. And just snacks the arm, knife goes flying, kind of skittering across the deck, very far from like where she would want it to be, where she could access it, which would be, let's see, you got a D10 here, so we'll give her a D10 complication of this, missing knife. And then your minotaur still gets to do something. And so you knock this out of her hand, your minotaur has finally fully formed itself, and you all hear that like that horn that's like the sound of this bull, as from behind Damaris's ships, you see a fleet. All of them with the same carving on the prow of this young-looking southern man with this, an 8-pack abs, flowing hair.
My uncle?
And across the boats, you see Boris's boats, as your uncle has gathered together his fleets to come help.
That's
but
what I'm
the
talking
Minotaur,
about.
What is the Minotaur gonna do?
Well, Delphine is jumping up and down like, yeah, Boris. And then the Minotaur is, can the Minotaur like fly or swim or anything?
I mean, I think like spirits can sort of just like this is not like an animal, so I think that it can kind of, you can even see like as it walks across the water, even like the air above the whirlpool, as when it's like foot taps down, it like creates this like bronze plate that it steps onto.
Oh, cool. Well then, I want the Minotaur to charge Damaris's boat and break it apart.
Oh, nice.
Okay. All right. I like it. Let's put together your Minotaur dice pool. So, base trait 2d10s.
All right.
Scale die of d8.
D8.
Which of the attributes do you want to use?
Probably strength. Oh wait, sorry,
so vigor?
attributes. Vigor.
D12.
And then strength.
Strength D12.
Okay.
Oh boy! And you get to keep 3 of those again.
Okay. Ooh,
25!
What?
Wowzers. All right, well, this boat, I think I'm going to give it, it's a 2d10 boat. It's a pretty good boat, but it's against an Eidolon.
It should have a scale too, though, because there's a large.
Yeah, it does. It's got its little scale die, but it is.
It's a boat.
I got a 13 to 25. So it's a double heroic success, which would be a d12 and a d8 of your effect die, because it's going to step that up twice. This boat is getting wrecked. Please go ahead and just take this description and be wild.
So as you described before, the Minotaur steps off of our boat and onto the ground, and these bronze plates kind of create a de facto step bridge under its feet, and it just kind of starts gaining speed as it gets closer and closer, and then it lowers its horns. So, by the way, I'm wearing my horns backwards. I don't know if anyone noticed that this whole time. I've been wearing them backwards. They should be pointing forwards.
I thought it was to be cool. I thought it was to be cool.
Yeah.
I just did it wrong. But the horns go down and forward for charging, and then you hear that, and it just punctures the ship with its horns, and the ship just explodes basically, and everyone goes flying off of it.
Yeah, you just hear like Wilhelm screams as like crew members are thrown, and they turn into like Wilhelm screams and turn into like Wilhelm like toddler cries, and then silence as they just turn back into zygotes, and then to nothing, to this they didn't exist as they fall into the whirlpool. Damaris just, you see she's just barely able to keep herself going by just this Skotos energy that is barely hanging on to her now. She's lost kind of this thing that was grounding it. She's lost kind of this bit that was in one part of her body, but the rest of it just kind of shoots down into the water like this pillar, and just she's standing on just this writhing mass of blackness above the ship, but she is very unstable as kind of the whirlpool kind of keeps on tugging at this pillar and trying to kind of pull it down. And who should go next, Damaris or Tony?
I think Tony.
You sure? Because if she goes next, I go last. I can pick who goes first the next round. But if she goes last, she picks.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't mind waiting till the end because I mean, I'm patient, but I don't want her having a double up.
All right, then let's have her go next.
Okay, so she's on top of this pillar, and then we're gonna cut to Lysandra standing in front of this tongue. Zeph, you've just dropped down and kind of seen this through this weird echo reflection. What are you two doing? And the Chimera's there as well, Zeph, in case we forgot the Chimera is there.
Lysandra, kick us off. You're sort of... I just got here.
All right, so we got that big squishy mouth. You just dropped down. Zeph, he's here somewhere. I'm looking, but I think we have to go in there.
You jumped in after him.
I did. I'm sorry. I was so defensive the first time we talked about it, and
he gives her hand a little squeeze and just says, "Thank you."
Aw, we're finally friends. Lysandra didn't say that. I just said that because I've been rooting for this friendship forever. So I think we should go in. I think it's our only shot at getting him back. I think it's just a risk that we have to take.
I said I'd go through hell and back to get him back. I'll walk into a giant mouth too.
Hey, your voice sounds better.
Puts his scarf back up over his face. It's like, let's get in this mouth.
All right, and we go into the mouth together.
Excellent. All right, so you both begin to walk into this mouth. The tongue just under your feet. And
the sound effect. Oh my
shuts
god.
behind you. And in that moment, you're both you lose sight of one another.
Mm.
And I would like, starting with Vanessa, to describe Lysandra's worst fear.
Okay. My absolute worst fear is seeing everyone in my lineage express disappointment in me, because I was told my whole life that I was born as a protector and a keeper of words, and not only did I fail at protecting that, but I also couldn't even protect a human that I didn't even know at the scene. So my absolute worst fear is seeing all of my ancestors tell me what a disappointment I am.
Okay. So that's what you hear. You just hear these whispers kind of just coming from all around. You can't see anything anymore. You're just in this darkness, but you hear the voices of everybody that you know telling you all these things that you fear are true, that you could believe are true. And the longer you hear them, the more they just settle into the depths of your chest. And we're going to do a test here. See how well you withstand this trial of fear. I'm rolling 2d8s. And it's gonna be an 11 that you gotta beat.
Okay. So I'm actually between warrior and priest. I think I'm gonna do priest because I'm trying to convince myself that I am that. That I am a protector and keeper of words.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna do reason because I'm trying to reason with myself here. Guardian of letters because I am dang it. Cool, and then we're gonna roll.
Do it. Hey. Yeah, do you want to just describe just the feeling of this as you're going through it and how you work through it?
Yeah, as I'm going through and I'm hearing this whispers that I'm a failure and that I couldn't protect the books and I'm barely protecting the scrolls and I couldn't protect his little brother, I realized that despite all of those things happening, I'm making up for it, and I'm doing the things in my life that are things to be written about. And I'm not only going to like make sure that I like rebuild and keep it going, but I'm also going to be a better person. I'm not going to be someone that only thinks about like the bureaucracy of the job. I also want to think about the human elements, because I'm not protecting words, I'm protecting human words. So I like start to tune out the voices until I can just listen for Zeph's little brother.
Sounds good. And Zeph, you hear your little brother as you are walking through. You hear him screaming, crying for your help. And when you follow the sound down this just darkened corridor, you just finally, a light just shines on something, and you run up, and it's him, and he's dead. He's a husk. And then it just sort of melts into the flesh that you're walking on. But then you hear another scream, and you turn, and there he is, but he's a skeleton. He's been dead for years, just you never found him. And let's go ahead and roll a test for you as well. See how well you deal with your fear challenge. Your fear factor.
Fear factor.
We're gonna make Joe eat bugs.
Got a 10. So go ahead. Tell me how you want to build a pool here, Zeph.
Hey,
Oh, actually, sorry. I got to add in, you got some stress. I'm going to go ahead. You got a D6 left over, so I will also add a D6 to that. Pew! 13 instead.
okay. I guess I'm going with warrior, because this is a pure just power through this. Courage. I'm going to use tireless tracker of men, but I'm going to use it as a hitch.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is there's a voice in the back of his head that's like he jumped into a whirlpool and there were giant eel gods at the bottom of it, like giant death fates. And I'm not going to use a power.
Okay.
So, and that hitch gets me a plot point, right?
It does. You got a plot
Okay.
point for it. Oof.
And then I rolled another hitch.
It's not gonna help you because you can't use that. All right. So I will go ahead. I'm gonna just step up your courage stress to a D8, and I'll buy that
Okay.
hitch from you. So now you get another plot point. So you get another little plot point for that. But you crumble. You keep on finding it. You keep thinking, I'm making it through this. I'm gonna make it through this. But every time you think, great, I've made it through it, and now I'm gonna find him, it's just him dead again. It's him eviscerated. It's him drowned. It's him in just every worse situation that you have ever imagined in the last several years. Until, Lysandra, you just find Zeph just running. You can't see what he's seeing, but you can see what he's feeling. And what would you like to say or do, if anything?
Say or do? I think I want to... Is it dark where we are?
Yes, but again, like when there's sound, it just kind of like lights up the things that the sound hits.
I think I want to breathe fire, but not to set anything on fire. I want to make enough light to show him what really is in the room and that he's not actually seeing these things.
Absolutely. Yeah, so you blow this fire, and it, not only that, but like this chill that had kind of come over you, Zeph, as you're just kind of held by this fear, kind of warms a bit as the feeling sets in, the feeling that you had kind of when you came down here and realized that Lysandra had come down here for your brother, to help you. So this just, you're not alone, and somebody else is here, and no, this isn't him. And as that realization begins to set in, you hear him screaming again, but this time it's a little louder, a little more insistent, and lights kind of begin to rise up And you kind of notice as this kind of fleshy area that you've been walking in, as you kind of take steps towards this voice together, hardens. And you see as kind of these bits of coral have kind of built up around you all and off the walls and the ceiling. And this is graveyard, not only of coral, but of bone as well, in this deep canyon that seems to go on almost forever. And you see your brother back on the floor, face up to this massive spider-like beast that is made of coral. Each of its legs kind of these jutting colorful bits of the rock-like substance, and just kind of it's leaning down into him, its fangs kind of dripping with seawater, and it just is hissing in his face, and it turns to you. More humans. And we cut back to Tony. Tony, what are you doing up here? We got Damaris on this. Oh no, Damaris's turn first on this pillar of writhing darkness, which is going to reach forward. She's just kind of riding on top of it, and it almost looks like she's trying to like extract herself almost, and she can't. It's not letting her out, and it just moves up and tries to wrap around the neck of the minotaur. I'm gonna roll some dice. It's very rude.
Skotos.
And she's got these things. What's the stress that you have? You had D6?
D6 and courage.
Oh no, wait, it's not attacking you. It's attacking the minotaur. Never mind.
Oh, the minotaur.
They're different things. And then this is gonna be that. And her. Right. This is her warrior, another D8. Rolling some dice to try and get rid of this oh my gosh. I used up all my luck on episodes 1 to 5.
Well, I have a plot point?
Do you have a plot point?
I'm sorry to always ask this, but can I use it? I can use it to step up something, right?
You can step up an asset, or you can you have stress, you could step down. Mm-hmm.
Might as well. You know what? Yeah, I'll knock it out.
So those two hit just for 1 plot point, and you no longer have stress.
Wonderful.
Oh, right, and this goes over here. I got a whole 10, so I think the Minotaur is going to have some trouble with this one, but let's see.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Pretty tough there.
Yeah, so start with your 2d10s and your 8.
Looking pretty bad.
It's looking really bad for me.
Okay. It's trying to wrap around my neck. I'm gonna do probably bronze skin again because I don't want to be infected by Skotos. Not that I don't know if the Minotaur can be infected by Skotos, but just in case. Mm-hmm. I'll do bronze skin, and then.
Yeah, so that's another D12, and then which attribute?
Oh right, attribute. I always forget the attribute. I think vigor. What am I trying to do? Let's see. I guess just yank it off of me. And once again, maybe throw it into the whirlpool like I did before. Mm-hmm. So, vigor.
So vigor, yes, that's a D12. So you have 2D12, 2D10, and a D8, plus a D10 for her complication, the missing knife.
All right.
It's just a lot. Can't beat a 10 with that, but I mean, you can try.
I know. It's hard.
Oh, cool. There's no hitches in there.
Can I choose, like, the higher die for the effect die when I do that?
Absolutely, you can.
All right.
All right. That's going to be a double heroic success once again. Chat is just rolling in books. I hope I gave them enough codes for as many books as they're giving away.
It's a session finale after all.
It is. It's amazing. So yeah, you've got now Boris's boats are coming in, and they're kind of taking care of these ones that have managed to keep out of the whirlpool of like her, mob of cultists. They're kind of taking care of these. They're dealing with them. They're helping distract, so you only have to worry about Damaris and what she's doing. and she's just going. She's just almost just trying to resist, trying to pull herself free. You see it's moving towards the Minotaur as she's literally, it's wrapping around her neck too, and she's trying to pull herself up and out of it as it goes to then wrap around the Minotaur's neck. What happens from there?
The Minotaur, the Minotaur is gonna like, take its beefy arm and just like sever it from where it's connected, and then yank it off of its neck and just kind of twist it like a snake and throw it into the whirlpool.
Yeah. Does it also do anything with her as it's separating her from this?
Oh,
or does she fall?
Ideally, she would get knocked off of this pillar and disconnected from.
Absolutely. You get to decide. You succeeded massively. So like, yeah. So yeah, the Minotaur, reaches out with this beefy arm, grabs her, and at this grip, the darkness kind of begins to glow and just disintegrate at your touch, and she kind of falls loose of it and kind of tips over from the bottom, begins to just fall and plummet towards the whirlpool, and grabs the rest of this, and as it's kind of wrapping it and throwing it away, it just kind of turns into these bronze threads just kind of being thrown across the ocean. Tony, you're up. Damaris has been taken out, but is currently falling down to the whirlpool. Your other friends are in the whirlpool. The mob seem to be well taken care of. Your ship is still kind of circling the drain and kind of beginning to kind of get to a concerning level. What do you want to do?
Well, for the end of the sequence, I'm going to summon the Gorgon.
Yeah.
Now this.
Yeah,
plenty of stuff, loose debris around here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What does it look like?
This time, unlike before, which was mostly out of rock and everything else, I think this time I'm pulling it. You see the fabulous flying pig with the snake tail. I'm pulling it out of pieces of wood and seaweed and other kind of flotsam and jetsam, and as it coalesces together and its wings spread out, you see like sails and other kinds of pieces of like ship stuff there. And then like the face kind of just pulls itself together, and then like everything falls off, revealing this full-on boar head that's just looking around at everybody else, and that just emerges from the water. So I'm having that happen. And then,
I'm assuming you pick yourself to go first in the next round.
I will. And the first thing I do is I leap myself over the edge and down towards where I think she's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm just going to follow her in. But before I do that, I know that if anything happens to me, the Gorgon's going to go away.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, as I jump and I'm falling down and trying to chase after it, like when people jump out of planes and do that first bit of falling before the chute goes up.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh, hang on, I can't fly right now. So I'm just going to fall and just keep falling into the middle of the whirlpool
like a rock.
Damaris. But then it's going to be the Gorgon's go.
Yeah.
And what I want it to do is just to grab hold of the ship, Charon's ship, and yank it out of the whirlpool and take it as far away as possible before it dissipates.
Hell yes, we're going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. This whirlpool is tugging at this ship. You're trying to kind of get the ship gripped. You don't really have like claws or anything. It's a pig, so it's a little difficult. So we're going to go ahead, let's do it 2d10 with it. The whirlpool gets the scale die because it's a whirlpool for the fates. So
yeah.
Like a carbritus kind of thing, or carbritis. I don't know how to pronounce it, whatever.
Charybdis.
All right. Thank you. Yes, Charybdis. 14 is what your Gorgon has to go up against.
Oh, no. We'll try.
How will you ever do this with 8 million dice?
Let's see. So it's going to get its 2d10 base dice, right?
Yeah, 2d10 base and an 8 scale.
Whoop. Come on. Nope.
Oh, you got to do the dragging thing.
I know.
You know how that works
I'm
for
trying
you,
to do the
Cam.
dragon thing. There's one. There's two.
Hey.
And then the power is flight.
Yeah.
So it's D12.
Mm-hmm.
And I think its attribute that it's using is going to be vigor, which is what? Is it D8 for it or D10, 12?
Yours vigor is Gorgon is in here somewhere. Boop. Here we go.
there
Nope,
it is.
not vigor. You got courage and reason are your 12, so those will be 8.
All right. Well, I think it's brave to try and take this thing out of here and facing the mighty thing. So we'll go with the 12.
Yeah.
I'm
I like it.
giving myself a bit of a break.
If you'd like to also, the prophecy is currently at a 12. So adding that will be fulfilling the prophecy if you choose.
The prophecy fulfilled? That sounds fantastic. Make the Skotos vulnerable. That's what I think it means. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll pull that in there. And last but not least, that's it. Right?
That, yeah, I think that's all
So,
things.
And I only have
Or I guess
one
you're
plot-
using yeah, you got that already.
I have one plot point. But I'm going to roll this and try and beat that gigantic 14 and see if I can do it. Do not roll hitches. Well, there's one.
Oh, one hitch. But
I'm-
you keep 3 dice in there, so.
26.
26, just a measly
Wow.
little 26. That's a heroic success of a double heroic success again. So it's a D12 and a D8 effect die. This is just an amazing, amazing success. I think this hitch is it's just, I will buy it from you. I'm not going to write it down because you're leaving this scene, but I'm just going to say that this is, the sirens are really pissed off that this pig is touching his boat. He'll remember this. He does not like this.
The Gorgon just looking down, and as it does,
Yeah.
it's sort of like, I'll just take this somewhere and drop it off.
Just like drop it really hard so that just
Mhm.
water kind of goes in.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like in the middle of summoning the siren, and then like the pig just comes up and picks it up, and he's like, oh. So not very happy, but just incredible success. This definitely works, pulls it out of there. And the Gorgon can also go after it pulls this out and help Boris's boats, move farther and
Well,
farther away from the whirlpool.
Yeah, I was thinking,
From you.
as it flies up, it could also just sort of push the
Yeah.
boat down and then create like its own kind of wake and pull the other boats around with it.
Yeah, heck yeah, you can. Very, very cool. And then you disappear into there, and the Gorgon just kind of unforms as you disappear. Lysandra and Zeph, you see Zeph's brother underneath this coral spider creature that looks up at you and hisses, and then it says, "Help me or perish." What would you like to do?
I mean, who needs a little brother, really?
Let's just turn back and go back through the mouth, right?
I mean, it's time to kill a spider.
If you want to.
That sounds ominous, but
I mean,
Brian,
if-
It did say "help me or perish." What
Yeah,
does
but it's also
helping
like-
mean?
it's also like eating
is it
or
though?
trying.
It is, yeah. It's currently like
It's a big
over
girl
top
spider,
of your
Pam.
brother, and your
Yeah.
brother is just kind of tossing and turning and grunting, and he looks at you with eyes that look, a little less afraid than you'd expect. It looks like, like this is dangerous, but he doesn't look like, no, I'm gonna get eaten by a giant spider. So you're a little surprised by that.
Okay, fine. Zeph has learned the power of friendship. He can also learn the power of self-control.
Oh, character development. Oh, this late?
I'm a bad screenplay writer. I dumped it all in the final.
All right, so Lysandra, Zeph, would either of you like to take an action here?
Do I still have my chimera? Has my chimera just been around?
Yeah, you haven't gotten rid of it, so it can still. I mean, the beasts are large. Like it had to kind of squeeze into the mouth, but it is an eidolon-sized two-headed eel peacock, and this is a chimera-sized spider coral.
All right, I don't want to kill the spider because clearly we have some stuff to figure out, but I also want to separate them.
Yeah.
So I want to try and get in between them and pin the spider.
Okay, like the chimera go pin the spider. I'm
Yeah.
imagining, not Lysandra just like,
Not
I got it.
tiny me. Because by the way, now
Sounds
human.
good.
I haven't been half dolphin this entire time. I forgot to say that at one point. I wasn't a half dolphin anymore.
Excellent. So yes, yeah. Well, when you summoned the chimera, it would have had to go away, or maybe it was
When
just
I held your
permanently-
hand, it was a dorsal fin. Yeah.
No. So yes, it's gonna be a contest. So go ahead and build me a dice pool for the chimera. So again, that's starting with a base trait, 2d10s, a d8 scale. You also have that asset that d8 forgive me if you want to use that.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
because this is also very reliant to that. I mean, very
Mhm.
that situation. And now
Yeah.
I roll.
Well, which attribute would you like to use?
Oh, right. I'm gonna use courage this time.
So d8. And are you using any powers, fear, fire breath, shape shifting?
None of them actually, because I'm mostly just trying to like physically get in between them.
Totally. Okay, go ahead and
Or actually, can I become just the rest of my tail, like become the snake tail and try and constrict it?
sure.
I'll do that with the chimera.
Yeah, it becomes like a snake, but with still like a lion's head on the top
Yeah.
of like the snake body.
I basically just become like a finger trap.
I mean, that's kind of what the present fate was.
Exactly. And then
All right.
which of these?
And you get 3 dice to keep.
Boink. Wait, no. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll again 17. So I'm gonna use your complication, the forest for the trees. That's still gonna apply here. And this is Sexia. And this is gonna be 2d10s with a d8 scale die. And I don't think any of her powers are really gonna. This is gonna be her vigor though. This is resisting your thing there. So I got 10, 10, 10, 8, 8. Rolling boom boom. Jeez. It's still enough, but it's like barely enough. Do you have any plot points right now?
I've won.
Would you like to spend it and step down your complication or step up an asset?
Thinking. I'm going to.
Can I give her? Can I give her my plot points?
You cannot. You could spend a plot point to give her one of your assets, which is like the knowledge of secrets is one that you still have.
Oh
Just a
yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you can give a D12 knowledge of the secrets, because I was very eloquent last time. It's a very good name.
Okay.
Knowledge of the secret of the knowledge. That's the next.
No, knowledge of the secrets, Cam.
No, but that's the next
Secrets.
asset. Will be knowledge of
Oh,
the
yes.
secret.
So if you get a D12 there, you get your 2 D10s and a D8.
And a D8.
You're still using your shape shifting, so it's a D12. And then are you changing which attribute?
Let me see. I think I'm going to use reason, because in this case, I'm not trying to do anything other than like assess the situation, because we do not know what will happen if we kill the spider.
Okay, so it's a D8.
Oops, I accidentally made it a blink. Oh wait, no, that's not what that was.
Well, it's still actually the same. Yeah, so it's a D8 reason for the chimera. You are more reasonable than your Eidolon.
Yeah,
So you gotta take out that and make that a D8.
there.
Boom. Okay, go ahead and roll them.
How?
Well, you get to put one more into your total
Mm-mm.
because you get 3 dice in your total, and then do you have any plot points?
Put the 4 over from effect
Yes,
and move
Do
the
you have any
3.
plot points left?
I have one left.
You can
I
spend
looked
it to
back
move
and I
that
actually
3
had two.
down.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
spend that plot point, so now I have 0.
All right.
So
Sweet.
the 10,
Um,
10 goes into effect dice.
Which one?
The two, one of those two is the D10 one on
Uh-huh.
the left.
It's gonna give him at this point. So you've succeeded, but it's going to kind of decide what that means. So you go in this snake form and begin to kind of wrap around it to try and get it off of Zeph's brother. And you all hear this snapping as these coral legs just snap, snap, snap. And it shifts out of it, like reaches kind of with the stump of a limb, reaches up and grows another coral leg and grows another one, and is able to kind of step out of your body, leaving just behind these bones of its previous legs. But it does move back. It just kind of scurries back. You don't understand what you're doing. This one wants to kill me. And just kind of looking with just these many eyes down at Zeph's brother, who is just kind of staring up at it and just laying on the floor. What do you do?
I'm going to run for my brother.
Mm-hmm.
So Zeph runs for Agrius just to kind of, I don't know, just like grab him and like hold him and have him and check in and make sure that he's okay, and probably also try to figure out what's happening.
Yeah. All right. So you get a hold of him, you get to him, and he pulls away a little bit. He doesn't want you to touch him. But you get to him too fast. You got griffin speed and grace and stuff. So he's not able to really get away. And as you kind of connect with him, you feel this wave of energy, the same thing that you felt when you were corrupted by Skotos.
Oh no.
You know that it's inside him as well, and he knows that you know now. And so this time he finally opens his mouth. He's kind of been just like screaming with his mouth closed and like not talking. And as he opens it, just this black goop begins to sort of just come out of his mouth, and he starts to lift himself up to go at you. What do you want to do?
No, Augie. And I'm just like trying to, if he's attacking him, then I'm just ducking and weaving, trying to talk to him, and just like,
yeah.
Augie, the same thing happened to me. It was in me too. And do you understand what got it out of me? What got it out of me was you. Okay, look at me.
So you're targeting the corruption itself. So this is going to be yeah, we're gonna make this a contest. So go ahead and roll first, and then I'm gonna roll the Skotos inside of your brother trying to resist.
Okay, so this is this is gonna be warrior, because this is about like strength, trying to encourage strength.
Yeah,
I think this is courage. This is swear to me, but in a nice way.
Oh, yep.
And then I have 3 plot points.
you have so many plot points.
Just save them. Is there anything?
Do I?
No,
and
I think
do I have an asset? I thought I had an asset that, besides the secrets
There's
of the
so
knowledge.
much doll fun, which doesn't apply anymore narratively. You could spend a plot point to make your brother's talisman into an asset and have a D6 asset from that.
Okay, I'm definitely doing that. And I'm just like holding it, and I'm like holding it up to him and showing him as if to like demonstrate, like you got this out of me.
Yeah.
Let me do the same thing for you. So let me add that D6.
Yeah, there's no SFX you can use at this point that I can see.
No.
Right. Okay. I mean, that's my pool. So here we go.
Oh.
Okay. You were at a D8 of courage stress, so I'm gonna go ahead and I don't think this is gonna be courage though. I'm gonna go ahead and spend a plot. You know what? No, I'm leaving that one on the table. You got 2 plot points. You don't need another one. Greedy.
No.
12 as your total though, with a D8 effect die, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll. This is 2d6 plus the Skotos scale die, And if there were any other kind of factors that would make this more difficult, it would add in here as well, but I don't think there is. So this is going to be 2d6 and a d8, but it's a scale, so he'll get to keep 3 dice unless I roll a 1. All right, I got a 17. It's a contest, though. So this is Skotos basically like it's infecting his mind. So you see is just this is kind of getting out of his mouth, but it just crawls back and it kind of goes back up and like into his nose, into his ears, just basically like cycling through him and blinding him. It even goes like over his eyes, just this like black wormy goop just covering his vision so he cannot see that little talisman that you have. Go ahead if you would like to. I'm assuming you want to keep going and not give in. But it's up to you.
Yeah. No, we're gonna keep going.
17.
Yes, let me. So I'm just. It's like coming at Zeph too, right? Like it's attacking.
Yeah, like there's bits of it that's kind of going, and he's just kind of like kind of limping to like just moving very strangely, very jerkily. And as he does, like this just kind of reaches out to grasp for you.
Cool. Zeph's letting it happen. It's just letting it. It's like pulling and just like sort of like dragging them together, and Zeph's like continuing to like try to talk him through it. And let me. Yeah. So Zeph's not struggling like at all. They're just sort of like being pulled together by Skotos. It's going to be a similar pool. Strength, courage. Swear to me. Except swear to me is now sort of like I promised I'd find you. I promised I wouldn't stop. I promised I'd never give up and never quit on you, and you can't do the same. I'm going to spend another plot point to create another one-time asset.
So you still have your asset from the last time, so you can still use that d6 because it's still relevant for this contest.
Okay.
Yeah, it lasts at least till the end of the contest.
Yeah.
Can I create another asset?
Yeah, you
can. Yeah, you can make. What do you want to create as another d6? Also, I will say, Lysandra, you could also, if you have a way that you would want to help, and you could provide an attribute die to help, you could do that.
Yeah, I want to provide an attribute die.
How would you be helping?
Let's see. What would be more helpful to you right now, a moral support or a physical support?
Probably moral.
Okay.
My second asset is called It's Hard Being Brothers.
Okay, in that case, I think maybe I'm in between grace and guile. Let's do...
Grace is more like flowing body, agility.
Okay.
Stuff.
Yeah, it's how quick you are. Yeah,
Oh.
guile is trying to convince people of things. It could be bad, like deception-y, but it could also be like persuasive. So using your wits and charisma.
Yeah, and reason is like rationality and intellect and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's the two mental ones, other than courage.
Yeah, like your reason's a 10, right? Like, because you could use that to
let me
be
do
sharing
reason.
logical information.
So
Do
I'll
reason.
add that 10.
Yeah.
And let's blow this because I historically roll horribly.
So what were you saying?
I mean, you're right. You did. You have 1 plot point left, which is not going to help you at all.
Nope.
No.
But that doesn't mean you lost the doesn't mean that like this causes loss. It means that you're going to take stress.
Yeah.
And it just has a d4, so it's just going to step up in existing stress. Your what did I just put? I gave you reason stress. So that's just going to step up now. No, I didn't. I chose not to. So I'm going to give you reason stress. And you just see as your brother kind of falls more into this, that it's just like his entire head now is covered in this darkness, and it even reaches out and like grabs hold of the talisman that you were holding up to it, and it pulls it in to itself, and you see that just kind of moves down through these just undulating worms, and it just kind of tears apart and drifts to the floor. and angry at just how much this is failing. The spider just kind of like looks between the chimera and you, kind of just getting just tied into this Skotos, and Lysandra trying to call out, and it descends again and tears across the canyon, and with its coral legs just gets in between you and just rips you two apart. And as it throws this the Skotos infested your brother, it throws it against the wall, him against the wall, and it just tumbles, and the bits of Skotos kind of begin to just slough off of it and just move and just kind of suck themselves into the wall as your brother lays there, not moving. No more. And as you two emerge from here, carrying your brother's body, coming back out through the mouth of these beasts that Tony has been conversing with and chatting with, and they help you rise up and out of the whirlpool. And the Minotaur has been able to kind of create more of these bronze pedestals, almost creating this, bit of a ramp blocking the whirlpool so that ships stop being sucked into it. And you're risen up out of here by just this two-necked serpent that's just so long. It pulls you up, drops you down upon the deck. And you all feel that this is likely not over. And as a final parting, the two-headed serpent kind of looks down at you all. A gift. For one prophecy fulfilled, and another awaiting. And as it opens its mouth, and it, coming out of there, just this mass of ink spills onto the deck of the ship, just spelling out words and symbols. And as you all kind of try to read them, it just kind of sucks you into a memory that is not your own, and you get a vision of something that tells you that this was never where this was going to end, that this is where this was going to begin. Because you see Damaris, younger and happier looking, and she's holding your hand. She kind of kisses it lightly, and though she's smiling, a tear kind of falls down from her cheek. And she, reassuringly looks at you and tells you, you've been called just as I was, and you must hear it. There's no choice. He'll never forget us. And then you flash somewhere else. You're in a library. You're suddenly, Lysandra, you recognize your own library among this, and you see this person that you're inhabiting pulling things off of shelves and looking at ancient scripts, pulling knowledge that should not be held. And then you see in an area near where the Gorgons live, this collapsed cave that she digs herself through and finds this box, the box that we've seen before on Damaris's ship. And she opens it and sees the knife. And she knows that it will grant her wish. But before she can say anything, a whisper, and you all hear it as this vision of the past is given to you. And it says, you do not need to speak it. I know what you wish. Because you will live forever, and thus watch everyone you love die over and over and over again. The Eidolons are cruel, are they not? And she questions. You hear the voice now of this woman questioning, are you not one of them? And it laughs and assures her that it's not. And she asks what it is, and it says nothing. Nothing at all. It assures her, though, that it can grant her wish, that it can make it so that she doesn't have to live alone in an eternity that she doesn't die in. He can help. It can help. Give the person she loves an eternity, and others eternity as well. But she has to be willing. Which she is. And so Skotos gives Novandra, the Phoenix endarch, the knife. And you all live in this moment where you plunge this knife into your own chest, And you understand that Damaris was a pawn. Zeth's brother was a pawn, Navandra, who willingly gave herself to Skotos to be its hold on this world is out there. And somewhere, a volcano erupts and a city is destroyed because an unlucky messenger has delivered the news of what happened here this day. And that is where we're going to end this season of Eidolon Alpha. Oh, very depressing, but yeah. All right, Joe, can you do some business for us?
Well done, Mellie. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for leading us through this one. This was super fun, and thank you guys for all being at this table, and thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it. This is a super fun show. We love it. If you're watching on Twitch, again, hit follow. Thank you so much. If you're joining us for the first time, thank you so much. Welcome to Roll and Keep. Welcome to Fandom Tabletop. If you're watching in the future on YouTube, hit that like, leave those comments for us. We want to hear from you. Please subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. Tales of Xadia, the official Dragon Prince TTRPG, also powered by Cortex Prime, is available for pre-order now. Next week we begin our big Tales of Xadia crossover with High Rollers. You don't have to have seen any of the Tales of Xadia content we've done before. This is a standalone adventure. It's going to be super fun. The first episode's on Tuesday on their Twitch stream. Don't miss it. We're so excited about doing this. And then we're going to get a little spooky, a little and look, Vanessa, there was a coral spider and things vomiting, and so when we do the actual horror game, you got to step it up, because the Power Rangers meets Final Fantasy meets Greek mythology game was creepy as hell.
I think it's so gross.
So good. So we'll see you guys back here for all of that right here on Roll and Keep. Thank you guys so much. Be nice to each other. Take care of each other, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.